Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum, my secondary students. Welcome to a new English lesson, which includes some listening, speaking, and writing from your book, The Travel 3. And as usual, we'll start with what we'll learn today. And as you can see, we only have 3 objectives for today. Number 1, practice listening for specific information and answering multiple choice questions. 2, practice discussing the pros and cons of 2 options and expressing preference. And 3, writing an informal email based on prompts. So for number 1, we're going to practice some listening, and we're going to listen to some specific information and answer multiple choice questions. You know, you have I call you from now to prepare some headset or headphones. So we're going to play 4 conversations, and the 4 conversation will be played in a row, so there is no stop. And each conversation about one. So conversation 1 is for question number 1, conversation 2 for question number 2, and so on. Conversation 3 for 3, and conversation 4 for 4. And you will have for each question A, B, or C. 1 answer is correct. And for 2, we're going to take a look at some pictures and discuss how do we use the pros and cons of multiple choice questions, or how we actually use them to express preferences. How do we prefer this than that, and how do we have options of preferences? And finally, we have some writing, and we're going to write an informal email based on prompts. So you'll see some prompts, some charts, maybe a photo, and use it to write an informal email. And there will be an outline for you, so you will have major benchmarks to choose from to know how to write an informal email. Now let's take a look at this picture with this little boy hugging a planet Earth. Now a planet Earth is a very beautiful planet, and the question is here for you: what do you know about planet Earth? What do you know about planet Earth? We can talk actually for hours about planet Earth, but we can say it's one of the most beautiful planets in the solar system. It rotates around itself every 24 hours. This is why we have night and day, and also it rotates around the sun every year. And also the Earth has a little moon that shines in the night. The Earth has 2 ice polars, 5 continents, and 3/4 of the Earth is covered with water, and the rest is land. So that's why we call it the blue planet, because it's full of Earth. And also in the sky it has so many layers, like hemisphere, atmosphere, and I think the stratosphere, which protect us from comets, from the sun, shining rays, and all these things that come from outside the Earth. Now you will listen to this conversation as I told you. Okay, ready? Let's go.
Hey, don't leave your bottle on the beach.
Oh yeah, I forgot to pick it up.
It really upsets me when I see litter on the beach. Look at that. Someone's left a can over there, and an empty juice carton.
Look at that waterfall. Isn't it beautiful?
Yes, it's unbelievable. This place is amazing. The rainforest is full of wildlife. I think I'll take a photo of the waterfall.
After you've done that, shall we go for a swim?
Great idea. We could even go under the waterfall. The sea looks very rough today. Maybe it's not a good day for fishing. I don't think it's that bad. But look at how dark and heavy those clouds are. So it might rain a little. It's no big deal. Did you see that? Yes, that streak of lightning across the sky. So do you still want to head out there? Maybe you're right. We can leave the fishing until the storm clears.
If we want to save our planet, we need to change our lifestyles.
I agree. That's why I never throw away anything that can be recycled.
That's good. And I hardly ever use my car anymore. I use public transport or I cycle.
I am ashamed to say this, but I can't live without my car.
All right, now you heard four conversations in a row, and as I told you from the beginning, you will hear people talking in four different situations. So we have, four conversations in a row. Now, for questions 1 to 4, choose the best answer A, B, or C. So for number 1, first we heard the man say, "You overhear a conversation. What did the man forget? What did he forget on the beach? Did he forget a can, a juice carton, or a bottle?" And directly after this conversation, too, you overhear a conversation. You just overheard the conversation between a father and a son. What will the man do first? Go for a swim, take a photograph, go under the waterfall. And number 3, you overheard a conversation. What does the man change, or why does the man change his mind about fishing? He was going to go fishing, but he changed his mind. Why? He saw a flash of lightning, he saw dark clouds, the sea was rough. And directly for 4, you heard 2 men talking. What do they have a different opinion about? So they have different opinion. Was it about using public transport, changing their lifestyles, or recycling? So try to remember what you've heard. Most of the time, if you go outside to do some TOEFL or IELTS test, since you're secondary, they will never play the audio for you a second time. So you have to get ready to know this. So the first answer, and I think he left a bottle. And for number 2, I think he went to under the waterfall. So let's display the answers. So for 1, he left a bottle, but you heard a juice carton and a can. But you have to stick to the question. What did the man forget? Because a man came and saw another man sitting, and he told him to take his bottle. But also he later talked about juice carton and a can. But the question, we have to stick to the question. What did the man forget? He forgot his bottle, and he said, "I'm sorry, I forgot my bottle, and I have to pick it up." And for number 2, the father and his son. What will the man do first? What will the man do first? We heard about go under the waterfall, go for a swim. But first, it was he's going to take a photograph. Then he will do whatever he wants to do. Then second, go to swim, and then go to waterfall. But we always need to go back and stick to the question. What will the man do first? Take a photograph. 3, what does the man change his mind about fishing? You heard 2 people want to go fishing, but he changed his mind when he saw a flash of lightning. And he talked about how the clouds were dark, the sea was rough, and too many crazy waves. But again, we go to stick to the question. What does the man change, or why does the man change his mind about the fishing? The flash of light caused him to change his mind about the fishing. And directly after this 4, we heard the first conversation. What do they have a different opinion about? We heard 2 men talking about what? Public transportation, changing their lifestyle, or recycling. We heard something about these, B or C, but they were all, the main opinion were different about, or they were arguing about using public transportation. And the man finally said that he wants to use his car, and he's sorry for anything else because he likes to use his car. If we move on to do some speaking, if you take a look at this beautiful photo here, also, this photo when you explore Saudi Arabia, and this is Costa Rica. So look at the advertisements for 2 holidays and decide. Okay, let's see. Now you're planning for your summer vacation, and you have 2 advertisements. This one will help you go to Costa Rica, and this will tell you to go to Saudi Arabia. So decide which one you want and say why. So decide which you would prefer to go on and why. You can use some of the words and expressions in the boxes. So here we have active, relaxing, educational, challenging. And we can start saying, I would prefer to go to Costa Rica, or I would prefer to go to Saudi Arabia because. Always say because and support your, what you're going to talk about with examples. I think Costa Rica is going to be better or is better because it will give us the opportunity to see, to watch, to go, and to check, and so on. I don't think we should go to Costa Rica because 1, 2, 3. So either you write or when you speak, you always need to say why, give your opinion, and also try to support your examples, or try to support your saying with examples. And also you can use statistics, you can use too many things to support your opinion. So we can say, I'll prefer to go to Costa Rica because the rainforests are very relaxing. And the forest there, and there are mountains where they are, if you like to climb mountains, the mountains there, or climbing mountains there, is very challenging. And the woods or the forest there are, very active. There are too many animals to see, and also it's a little bit adventurous. So if you go, in the woods, trying to see some animals and climb mountains, and maybe you can do too many things. And you can also say, you can also invite your friends to come to Saudi Arabia to explore it. Something very famous about Saudi Arabia is, I think visiting Saudi Arabia is better, especially for a Muslim. He can go to do Umrah, go to Mecca, go to Medina. You can see Al-Haram al-Sharif, which we call also Al-Kaaba. You can visit Al-Medina to see Muhammad's tomb and Muhammad's mosque. And you can see the sepulchre there, which is next to Muhammad's grave, or Muhammad's peace be upon his soul. And you can see too many things. Also, you can visit Riyadh, and this is a photo of Riyadh here. You can see the ruins of Qawm Ad and Thamud. There are too many beautiful ruins. You can see how modern Saudi Arabia and Riyadh and Jeddah, and you can visit the Gulf. You can enjoy fishing, seeing some. You can go to some islands on the Red Sea. You can explore the sand dunes. You can camp in the desert. You can find out about some oases and some animal desert, like lizards, like snakes, like some wild rabbits, and so on. So that was just some kind of speaking. You need to take a look at the photos here, decide on your opinion, think and imagine, use these words in the box, and I'm sure you'll talk for hours about what's your opinion. But always remember, support your opinion with examples. Now let's talk about writing email. We know that day by day, technology is occupying our life, in school, in the house, in the car, everywhere. So people now either use social media to write or use emails to communicate more than any other ways. They also, this is not kind of email, but also the social media on Facebook and Twitter and other, websites, also using some apps on their smartphones. So everything is writing, and actually day by day, handwriting has become a lost art or something traditional. So if you want to write an email, which is maybe for your friends, for somebody maybe for somebody like one of your relatives, you need to know the outline, how the correct outline for writing an informal email based on prompts. So the question is, you have received an email from an English-speaking friend. So you have a friend somewhere in Europe, in Canada, in US, in Australia. An English-speaking friend of yours informing you about environmental problem and asking you for help or asking for your help. Read your friend's email and the notes you have made. What does your friend ask you to do? So your friend, you visited maybe England, so you have a friend there, or you met a friend there and you became friends. He sent you an email and asked you for help about environment. So you wrote his notes and now you're trying to reply. So what does your friend ask you to do? Here is a sample email, okay, of what we just said. You have to take a look at the arrows here when you give your opinion here about the plan. So you made a plan and you gave your opinion about it. And here say whether you will sign or not. And you have an information, and here you got or left a suggestion. And you wrote something like, take care, see you soon, thank you, faithfully yours, and Bob, that's your name. So I'm gonna read for you. That's just a sample of the writing. I'm writing to tell you about a problem we have in our town. A big hotel complex is planning to build a huge golf course along our unspooled coastline. This has caused a lot of discussions and arguments in our town because not everyone is in favor of it. You see, building this golf course will damage the sand dunes and the coastline, and this could have a bad effect on the wildlife in the area. As I feel very strongly about protecting the environment, I got together a large group of local residents who feel the same way as I do. We have written a petition asking the town council to help us, and I was wondering if you would be interested in signing it. You can sign it at stopgolfcourse@riseup.com. We plan to do more things to make people aware of the threat this project poses to the environment. If you have any ideas about what we could do, drop us a line. Take care, Bob. So this is Bob, your friend, wrote to you, okay, asking you for help. There's something wrong in the town. We're going to build some, golf course, and next to the, coastline, but the place is not good for many environmental reasons. And they want to sign a petition, and you can help with signing this kind of petition. So what would you do? You're going to read this email, take some notes, and answer. Okay? We'll talk about this email later. Now, take a look at this terrible picture. These are some tourists throwing trash and garbage along the coastline. And also, there is a warning that there is some kind of chemicals coming from a factory, coming into the sea, and it's polluting the sea. There are some chemical stuff, a chemical barrel dropped near the sea. Animals don't seem to be happy. There's some flies and dirt, and there's some insects coming to pollute the environment. There's another guy, leaving the residues of his food. A broken car left there, and there's a sign for no fishing. Of course, there will be no fish here because it seems that everything is, all the fish here won't come because it's clearly very polluted area. And we don't forget that also ships, it's not only factories and people, and also ships throw too much oil and too much dirt. So all the ships throw their dirt in the sea or in the oceans. So this is a very terrible photo. How can we keep nature clean? How can we preserve environment? How can we reduce water pollution? That is really everyone's responsibility. So the question for you, do you face a problem of water pollution in the area where you live? Write an email to your friend based on the outline you have made and using some ideas from the brainstorming activity to asking him for help. Try to use 100 to 150 words, or write 100 to 150 words. Actually, about this photo, I can write too many pages because seeing this photo is really bad. If we keep polluting rivers, seas, and oceans, we're not gonna leave any clean environment or water for our children and grandchildren. So what is that outline? If you have taken a look at that terrible photo that is causing too much water pollution, someone asked you to help. How can you help if there is near your city or in your city, or you've seen it somewhere? So there is an outline to write this kind of reply. So complete the outline for your email by answering the questions below. So what is this outline? You start with a greeting. 2, opening paragraph. 3, the main part, closing the paragraph, and you sign off. So for the greeting, what greeting will you use? Good morning, salam alaikum. I've received your mail, how are you doing, and so on. You can start the way you like. The opening paragraph is what set phrases will you use to begin your email? I have received your email, and it's terrible to see that photo that you have attached to me in the email. I'm so much interested in water pollution, and I face the same thing in my area. The main part is what points do you have to respond to? I have so many ideas that we worked on, with my school to reduce water pollution and soil pollution, and we had 1, 2, 3, or we have done 1, 2, 3, 4. And the closing paragraph, is there anything you want to emphasize? So you want to stress on something or to focus on something, you have to write about it. For example, you may say that, you can ask for help from the government or from organizations, or you can start this in your school. This was helpful for me if you do this. So you're trying to emphasize that he could use some organizations that are interested in environment, or you can use your school, or maybe ask help from the government. And you can also, phrases will you use to end your letter? This is also happy to hear from you, looking forward to see you around, hope everything will be okay, and you sign off with your name. So what signature ending will you use? This is the assessment, and that's also another terrible photo. There are too many people throwing their shoes, a tire, cartoons, a dead fish, and this is a pipe coming from a factory. You got too many insects, and the water looks very dirty. So write about it, and this is what you're going to do. And I hope you really write it, because writing is like driving a car. The more you write, the more you'll do better. So, all right, so that's it. What we have learned today, we got some listening, and we answered multiple choice questions. We spoke about environment, and also we talked about these two advertisement, and we used some vocabulary for speaking, like active, relaxing, educational, challenging, and we gave our opinion about each of the photos. And finally, we just finished talking about writing an email based on prompts. There are 5 major benchmarks, or items to do in the outline, which are the greeting, the opening paragraph, the main part, the closing paragraph, and this signing off. These are just the references and the resources. You can use them, you can check them, they're good for you. And finally, you can visit us on our own website. You can follow us on Twitter. You can call us on this number for any technical problems. For more information and lessons, these are our contacts. And thank you a lot for watching and listening to this. Until I see you again, take a good care, and salam alaikum.